Yeah, they be like, who is this Mickey Truth girl? Who qualifies her to put a work on these people?
What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Mickey Truth, aka the Queen of Paperwork, and I am back with another video. As always, all information contained in this video is for entertainment, educational purposes only. All information used in this video is per the Fair Use Act, and any conclusion that you draw is on you, not me. So let's get it. All right, y'all. Shout out to everybody that has been engaging in the comment section. But we got to go down this one more again, okay? New documents has been filed on the YNW Melly case, and we're going to take a look, okay? As always, trigger warning possible. We are talking about a murder case first and foremost. Rest in peace to the victim. This is, again, the following contents may contain elements that's not suitable for some audience members, okay? Viewer discretion is advised. Again, if you are emotionally attached to this case, if you are emotionally attached to the mention of murder or anything like that, please leave this video. This is not for you. I will not hold it against you. I will see you on another video. Okay. So this is the warning. Nothing from here falls on Mickey Truth. All right. If you continue, you already know what we're getting into. All right. Again, entertainment purposes only. Real life events, however, Mickey Truth or any of y'all, from my understanding, okay, don't have no ties to this case, don't have no dealings with law enforcement in Florida or anywhere else. So, entertainment solely. All right. Like I said, a new state motion was filed today for a state motion for admissibility of consciousness of guilt evidence and request for a ruling prior to jury being sworn. Yeah. Now, I'm going to do this one a little differently than I normally would do. As we're going through it, I'm going to give you my opinion on how it doesn't fit just one thing. Like I've been doing in the last couple of videos. Shout out to everybody that has been engaging again. I think y'all like this new dynamic that we're doing. Let's keep going. All right. This is what the entire investigation was focused on. For those who don't know, this paragraph was included in the arrest warrant back in 2019, and it is now included in the document that was filed on today for the motion. Okay, and for those who have not read this is my take on it. Courtland Henry original statement, which later shows he was lying, is what the case has been built around. In the minds of the police, the only reason for him to lie was to cover up for someone, and that someone would be the one person missing from the car. And I've been saying it since day one of trial. You showed me a person getting into the car, but you don't show me that person getting out of the car. It's open for conclusions, no matter which way you're looking at it. The investigation was one sided from the start. Like I said, the police investigated, but only to prove the narrative they already put together based on Bortland lying. It's nobody else that Bortland could be covering for or willing to lie to the police about other than Melly. As you saw during trial one, they painted that picture with text messages and things like that to show the loyalty Bortland had for Melly and vice versa. ASA Bradley stated the police had to work backwards due to Bortland's statement. That's on day one of the trial opening statements. As I told you in a previous video, that was also the wording placed in the arrest warrants in 2019. Okay. So again, the detective were investigating using tunnel vision. Like a lot of my comment people that like to call me biased, y'all be on tunnel vision, okay? To them, the only suspect is the missing passenger, YNW Melly. Now, this also was in the original arrest warrant, and it is now in the motion that was filed. But Withers, okay, made a statement hours after the murder to Detective Moretti and another detective. Once more information was provided to law enforcement, Withers were determined to be lying. So the police like, yeah, we got you now. You're lying. You can only be lying for one person, YNW Melly. You can only be doing this to cover because you know what he did. And this is my interpretation of how they're presenting their facts for those who haven't caught on to that. Two people known to be with the victims Okay. Now determined to be lying. So, one question for everybody, and let me know in the comments, why would these two people lie? The police will answer to protect YNW Melly for many reasons. He's a superstar. You know, a lot of them, okay, especially Bortland. That's how his career started, right? The other guy, I'm not even sure if he's a rapper or not, but again, he was with him at the studio. He's benefiting off of being around YNW Melly, the superstar, this big rapper that we all know. That's why we're here discussing it now. But could it be fear of gang retaliation, though? Walk with me with this. The police themselves even painted this picture. It's a cover up. They're protecting somebody. In their mind, though, oh, they're protecting YNW Melly. However, the bulk of their case is gang related. Huh? Gang related. So could it be that the protection wasn't this rapper named YNW Melly, but the protection of the gang? Hmm. Think about that and let me know what you think in the comments. According to the motion filed today by the state attorney's office, and this is filed by the new ASA, okay? For one, they state that YW Melly has been observed in the company of one or more known criminal gang members four or more times. It also says that Melly has been observed over four or more times with Cortland Henry. Additionally, he has been observed in the company of Jamon Mitchell, Jaquan Burton, and Derek Dixon. These names may not sound familiar to you, but if you read Moretti's deposition, you know the nicknames to these individuals. If you listen to the trial, when Detective Polo was up there, he mentions these names and their nicknames. One including Gino, Herc, again, presented to us in our face at trial, but it didn't catch on. So I ask you again, is the cover up for Melly or is it a cover up for the gang? Let's keep going. YNW Melly is now the only suspect on the police radar. Only one. The only time it was other suspects was before Cortland Henry's statement was determined a lie. So again, only suspect, tunnel vision. Now, the police now have video showing how everyone left the studio. So if your mind, you already think that two witnesses, because for those who don't know, these lies was uncovered the same day, okay? The same day as the murder. October 26, 2018. The video surveillance was retrieved October 26, 2018, as you can see, and this is part of what was filed today. Now, a couple things that stand out that they have been saying, okay? They say here that Christopher Thomas, okay, and Melly satchels are missing, but they are seen with them getting into the car from the studio. So, two questions for you. Why would the satchels be missing? What would be the point if Melly was a shooter to take Juvie satchel? Let me know in the comments, True Team, what you think. Well, I'm gonna tell you this. If we look at it through the theory of the state that Melly is the shooter, nothing was provided to why they would be removed. Right? Now, if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments. Where at trial did they give an explanation to their theory of why the satchels was gone? I could y'all know I went to sleep a couple times. Okay. So it's cool. Let me know in the comments. Now, if we look at my theory, the drug deal gone bad, right? The satchels was taken by the dealer who got in the left rear passenger seat and it had money in it. For those who are not aware or maybe not familiar with it, take a look at Bad Boys 3. The undercover operation when they were in the van and then everything went boom. If you recall, guess what? Even though things went left, the dealer took what they came for. They didn't leave it. So check that out. Now, Withers goes straight home from the studio. This is proven. This matches his cell mapping of his phone. This matches the video accurate timeline, right? Right? Let me know in the comments. However, just because that car was going home doesn't mean the true intent of that second vehicle was to go home. Hmm? You might be like, Mickey, what you talking about? So I'm going to read this for y'all. As stated earlier, Withers said he proceeded directly to his residence in Myanmar. This was confirmed by security cameras at the gatehouse in Sunset Lakes. Also, he arrives at 3:49 a.m. The video surveillance cameras capture that also. And it also captures the Jeep at that time on the interstate at 3:46 a.m. They're able to take that clip from that camera on the interstate at 3:46. See both vehicles. 3 minutes later, have another video of Withers going through the gate, but not the Jeep. So they can determine the separation of the two cars was in 3 minutes. Now, I'm going to be honest. I don't know about y'all, but all your friends are not privy to plans. It needs to know, right? So, for example, if you got say, a drug deal that's going down, they're not in your immediate circles for that type of business. You send them on their way and you continue on. That's just my opinion, of course. But I will say this, it never was determined if the other people in the car were gang members, so I can't speak on that part. But nevertheless, let me know what you think in the comments. Now, evidence shows shooting took place inside the car. They do have that evidence to show it took place inside the car. However, they don't have evidence to say YNW Melly did the shooting. What they have is a video showing YNW Melly getting inside a car on the left rear side. And then they have a vehicle that pulls up with two deceased victims, one driver, and no left rear passenger. So I'm not even gonna sit here and stunt. When you got tunnel vision, oh yeah, boom. Oh, Melly did that because he was sitting there. Bam, simple. However, when you don't have tunnel vision, your question should be, well, who was sitting in the left back seat? See, if you ain't have a name already to put there, you'll be wondering, how do we find out who was sitting in the left seat? Now, evidence shows that the shooter had to be sitting in the left rear passenger seat, like I told you. Okay. And again, Melly was seen getting into that seat. Melly was not inside the Jeep once it got to the hospital. And Melly friends are being caught up in lies. I mean, tunnel vision is getting straighter to me, right? It's only one possible suspect. Well, let's talk about it. YNW Melly versus drug dealer. Evidence. On camera, getting into left rear seat. Not on camera arriving at the hospital with the other occupants that was seen on the original camera. Friends are lying, which the lies will admit his attendance. So basically, what they're saying is the full story that Melly wasn't there, right? Melly DNA is on the left rear door handle, right? Now, that's normal. He was in there. We see him getting in there. But when you talking about a murder plot and murder accusation, DNA stands out. Oh, you're sitting on the left side and your DNA there? Although it's obvious your DNA would be there because you're sitting there. But you get what I'm saying? Let me know in the comments, okay? Now for the drug dealer. Well, for one, they ain't never mentioned no drug dealer. Okay? No cameras footage because no one never looked. Not even at street cams to verify. And if they did, do you think if they saw the Jeep coming back at 4:47 a.m. and then a white car rolled past too, do you think they actually, because they hone in on one suspect, to worry about who's in the white car, if that white car is going to come back to somebody tied to the situation already? Nah. Friends of Melly don't even mention a drug deal. Again, probably never was asked. Now, I told y'all, Courtney Henry spoke to police one time. We heard the audio. He throws it off and says somebody at a Walmart or something. Outside of that, nothing else was done because guess what? Once he got caught up in the lie, the police was determined to show he's lying to cover for one person, YNW Melly. not a drug dealer. And no DNA. However, it's no DNA because the police didn't look for foreign DNA. If y'all recall that trial, the big hoopla that Moretti wrote on a note, this is Jamel Demons or YNW Melly's DNA. Again, they didn't look for nothing outside of YNW Melly. Now, I need y'all to go to my community wall and I shared a video. I'm not gonna play it on here because I'm trying to stick in my guidelines. But drug deals are common to take place inside a car. On that video, you will see an undercover cop get into the left rear passenger seat, then do a drug exchange, and then things go left, guns are pulled, shootout occurs quickly. I think the full video is only 3 minutes and 31 seconds, and all this takes place. It doesn't take much. So check it out. And that was just a way for those who may not have visually ever encountered this, but they can kind of get a visual in real life because this is not a movie. That's real life. Moretti confronts Withers on the next day. Okay, next day, October 27th, 2018. The only change made to the story is that Melly didn't start out in his vehicle, but got in after getting a message on Snapchat. Still a lie. I'm not going to duck like that. But he sticks to that Melly ended up in his car. Do y'all agree or do you not? If I was the police, this fella already lied to me and didn't come clean until after I address his lie. I ain't going to hold too much to what he's saying at this point. The motion pending, okay, on if the judge will throw out Moretti statement is still pending. Nothing has changed. So Moretti is still an issue because it's allegations against him that he's a crooked cop. So I'm not gonna get too deep on Moretti just yet until that is determined or more documents come out about it. However, cell mapping is not consistent for their theory. Not in general, because I gave y'all a perfect example. The cell mapping for Withers matches exactly what they have to support with the video evidence. However, when you get into the actual shooting and murder, it's not consistent. They make it consistent for their narrative that Melly is the shooter, but not for the other victim that they're stating it is in the car with Melly the whole time. All right. And then again, the state wants the jury to believe that every move made on the phone said to be Melly is accurate. Then that means, like I said, they cannot prove that Juvie was with Melly at all times from 3:20 a.m. to right before Portland pulled up to the hospital. Y'all might be like, Mickey, you are out of bounds. You're reaching. No, think about it. If we are supposed to believe the coordinates, the cell mapping, the whatever they call it, is accurate to a T to use to determine that Melly was the shooter in this case and no other possibility, then we need to hold that too to every other piece of the cell mapping evidence. These records also don't show Demons meeting up with Withers and proceeding home with him. So again, Thomas' phone did not register with Melly and Sack Chaser anymore. That is, no matter what you say, maybe the signal was weak because his cell phone provider, all this, all that, that's cool. However, it still doesn't change the fact that if we're going to utilize cell mapping to the T for one, we have to utilize cell mapping to the T for everybody else. Because if the reasoning is his cell signal was not strong enough, that still is a loophole to say, well, again, how do we know for sure they were in the car all together? How do we not know? Okay. I mean, the hows come out. Okay. But again, just being fair, unbiased. If we're going to say it's accurate to the T, then we have to take the whole case accurate to the T. Now, cell mapping wouldn't work for my drug theory either because, again, it would be the same reasoning, right? It has to be accurate to the T. Now, why didn't the state pull the cell mapping for other phone numbers that they have submitted text messages from? Case in point, all the game messages. Did you pull the cell mapping for those numbers too? Y'all might be like, well, why would they want to do that? Because they're solving a murder. Or would you only utilize, when you have tunnel vision, your one suspect? So, if this case was thoroughly investigated, all numbers in the 9807 made or received within 48 hours of the murders and after should have been traced. You know why I say that? Because the dealer could be one of the ones looking right at them. And again, this is based off evidence presented. You're showing us text messages of drug deals, drug conversations. You're showing us that. You're showing us game talk between certain numbers and the number you want us to hone in on as Melly's. That's a thorough investigation. Because guess what? Your own witness, FBI agent Collins, said he can only verify device, not person. In the motion that was filed today, at the very end, okay, it says this was a calculated effort to establish their version of the incident in an attempt to deceive law enforcement. Special Agent Brendan Collins of the Federal Bureau of Investigations later analyzed the records and concurred in this initial analysis done by Mark Moretti. But how, Sway? How? I want to ask everybody to comment how. How is that? Because at trial, okay, Brendan Collins said the records track devices, not people. Device is not people. Even in the audio of Cortland Henry test statement, he didn't say, nah, the phone wasn't in the car. He didn't say the phone wasn't close by. He didn't say nothing about the phone. So how does the records that's about a device concur that they're covering up for Melly, a person? When your own witness is stating they don't have records on people, only the device. Now, for my unbiased people, talk to me in the comments what that's about. How can he concur your initial analysis? You're putting people, not devices. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Portland clothes was found with blood on it, for sure. And that's in the paperwork. They also say he changed clothes. Now I told y'all my view on it. He had the sweater in his hand the whole time. But at the same time, I guess once you put it on, your attire is different. So I'll go with that. But again, YNW Melly has nothing to do with YNW Portland in this regards anyway. Melly never made a statement. Unfortunately, that's just how it goes. Now, in reality, and y'all can go check out the paperwork, they can't prove that another car wasn't there. And I think a lot of people misread, or maybe they alluded to something different at trial. Because again, I did take some naps. The evidence showed that no car pulled up and started shooting at them, which again made the drive-by a lie. Not that is no evidence that no other car was there. So, y'all remember my drug deal gone bad? And shout out to all my people down there in Florida that's been in the comments letting me know that it's alligator snakes and bears and oh my, and I'm probably elaborating, exaggerating. However, again, it went down because according to the evidence in this paperwork that's been in the paperwork since the original arrest, they staged a shooting. Okay. Glass everywhere. So they were outside the car. Somebody. So if we're not going with my theory, we're just going with they was just them. They were out there moving around, staging crime scenes. So, and I believe they're from that area or familiar with that area. So, again, it goes both ways. Drug deals normally happen in cars. But okay, maybe we're watching Power or something and they're like outside. They wasn't scared to be outside to shoot up the car. So I'm just like on the side of they wouldn't been scared to do a drug deal there either. That's just my opinion though. Y'all tell me what you think because I know y'all are. Now, the victims were shot from the left side. The evidence shows that. The coroner shows that. So evidence proves that the victim was shot on the left side. However, no evidence is provided that Melly was sitting in the seat at the time of the shooting or that he ever shot a gun that night. The only person who tested positive for gunshot residue was Cortland Henry. They have their own explanations to how that's possible or whatever, whatever. It doesn't take away the fact that Melly doesn't have a positive GSR. A lot of y'all may say, well, they didn't get him that night. Cool. It still doesn't change the fact he doesn't have a positive GSR. Period. Now, again, it only says or maps out the person sitting in the left rear seat is the shooter. The police are tunnel vision to YNW Melly. The public is tunnel vision that is YNW Melly. No one took into consideration that maybe it was somebody else sitting in that back seat. Another thing is, even with cell mapping and the fitness app, it cannot pinpoint where the device was in the car. But maybe it can. But again, how many people have left their phones in the car? So you mean to tell me that just because a phone can show, I don't know if it can, but maybe it can show where you're sitting at. Does it show where you're sitting at, or does it show where the phone is? Scholars in the chat, I miss putting a word on the sentence. It's cool. At this point, I'm already rolling. We're gonna keep going, okay? But the whole case is centered around the deception of Bortland, not Melly. Again, Melly has not provided a statement. They tried to force Melly to provide a statement. If y'all recall early on in the case, they filed his lawyers filed paperwork on that. However, he didn't say nothing. So the only thing they have is the original recorded statement from Cortland Henry, who decided not to say nothing no more after that either. So, to be continued. Y'all know I'm working on trying to keep these videos not as long at one time. So part two of this will be coming to finish out the documents. It's only 8 pages we done been through already. It's 24. You rapper saying things. No matter what you go through, do what you got to do and conquer the world.